A glute ham raise, or a Nordic curl as they're also called, is I think one of the best exercises that exists for hamstring development, particularly for athletic performance. It's awesome for preventing ACL tears in team sport athletes. But it's brutal. It's a very difficult exercise, and so it takes a lot of practice, a lot of work to get proficient at. And it also takes a lot of equipment if you don't have the right implement for it. So they do have an actual glute ham raise machine that looks like this. In this case, I set up a rig with benches and a barbell in the rack and a foam roller on the bar. So you'll see why all the setup here in a minute, but we have to find ways to be creative here. This is how we do it. So when we are setting up for this, in this case, what I'm going to do is put my knees on this bench that I have closer to my barbell in the rack. Both knees are going to go in there, and I'm going to kind of hook the back of my feet / my Achilles tendons up under that foam roller, which is really just there for padding on your ankles for the bar. Because it is pretty brutal if you don't have some kind of padding there. If you could do that, I'd be impressed though. So what we're going to do now is get in this upright position. I'm going to fully extend my hips so that my glutes and my hamstrings are tightened up. I have some tension back through here. And next I want to squeeze down on my abs a little bit, because there's two things that are going to happen whenever you first do this exercise. One, when we start to lower ourselves down, your butt's going to kick back like this. And the second is that as you try to come up, you're going to go like this and arch your back like crazy trying to come up. So what we're going to try to do is maintain a straight line from your knees up to your head, both on the way down and the way back up. So I'll demonstrate it for you here on the way down. We're always keeping this as slow and controlled as possible. So my hips are locked out, my hamstrings are locked out, my abs are tight, and I'm just going to keep my hands here to catch myself as I get low, because what you'll notice when you do this is that it's really hard to not let go once you get to about that halfway point. But whether or not you can control yourself down is inconsequential, because we're just working those hamstrings, trying to put as much tension on them as we can. So in this position here, what I'm going to do is kind of do an explosive push-up almost. After I get my feet set. So I'm going to do an explosive push-up and reverse that movement and try to pull myself up as if I was doing a leg curl. So I'm going to just push and pull the rest of the way with my hamstrings, again, trying to keep that straight body position. So running through that again. Make sure my ankles are good. Body's upright, squeezing the butt, squeezing the hamstrings, squeeze the abs, controlling myself down as slow as I can, catching myself soft at the bottom, and then doing my best to pull back up to that top position. So when you do this, you'll realize how much tension that takes on your hamstrings in order to keep it, or just to even control the movement on the way down. Now there's different ways that you can go about making this a little bit easier. I might hold a PVC pipe like this one in the corner here in my hand and kind of control my movement with the pipe. I also might anchor a band up high to the pull-up bar here and wrap it around my chest to help slow me on the way down. You can find ways to modify it to work best for the equipment that you have, but that is a glute ham raise or a Nordic curl.